Alright, so what's going on with Creatures Artificial Life Simulator by Newbren? Um, so, actually, in summary, the easiest summary is eating and mating, and then all kinds of different genetic adaptations to the environment and different ways they socialize. And here we start with some flowers. Okay, started off, and we got two flower shapes. The shape is really just for us. Uh, to look at, so the genetics is really their little AI brains and genes are really the best part. So they eat and then they seek a mate, and they have some of them like to cluster together, some of them like extra space, some of them are more friendly. They want to make more likely to mate with you than kill you and eat you. Um, but yeah, that's essentially it for these, and you see they pick up pretty quickly. Now, all that food stays in a small area we're going to call the world, and it's a little pocket universe where these little foods keep growing, and therefore life can carry on. Now, let's see what happens if we add 32 unique creatures, each with their own DNA, to one small pocket in space. Same amount of food, a slightly smaller area. Actually, the shape of the world, as in where the food is going to grow, it can change shape. You get a couple of different options. So sometimes you get a really long world, sometimes you get a skinny world. Um, Originally, it was only spherical. Now, if you've been playing with the simulator so far, you'll notice in this one there's fish. Okay, so that is a new creature. You guys will get that in when Alpha 11 comes out. There's cool fish. There's also these really cool. I don't see any alive right now, but we do have another one. It's a kind of a glowy, floating creature. It's a gaseous creature basically, so it has no solid components. It kind of looks like the queens. And what we're looking at here, those pink ones, those some creatures, they're predisposed to have a queen-based colony. So they will, the queen stays in place. She's got the queen gene. Once she mates, she'll stay where she is. And everyone who ever mates with her or comes from her will no longer mate with any other creature, no matter what. So now you'll notice these guys, they got a really neat thing going on here. Another new feature that's going to be up in 11 is actually I took a glitch that I was encountering and I turned it into a potential genetic option. The glitch being that creatures were being born from the queen and they were kind of just getting stuck and they weren't moving. But I noticed that what was happening was they were building up a wall around the queen, and I thought that looked pretty neat. So I actually wrote it into the code that's, again, it's genetically predisposed. So whether a queen is likely to make these or not depends on their genetics. But as you can see, some of them, they just orbit. They're just swimming around her. It opens the door for so many cool things. I've seen some really amazing stuff, and I'm going to try to make another video just showing you guys a couple of really neat things that I happen to catch on video. But yeah, as you can see, the genetics slowly thin out. Now we got much smaller pockets, little neighborhoods, and little by little. Usually there's only one in the end, but I've seen some really neat situations where you have two or sometimes three queens, as long as they aren't bothering each other. Everything works out fine. And the offspring of the queen, they want to stay near her. So they don't go too far if they don't have to, but if they're chasing, yeah, I've seen one dumb creature leads like the whole pack back to his own queen and gets everybody killed. So anyway, so this is what happens with lots of DNA in one pool. Alright, setting up an experiment, you're going to enter the starting population, which the numbers of creatures you're going to start with, all with different DNA. The maximum population, so that's so your computer doesn't overheat, otherwise they might just keep breeding. Number of food, the food respawns, so the food is kind of randomly respawning all over the world size. World size here is 32. Sensitivity is what it is. It's the mouse sensitivity. Now check this out. Here we have. I'm glad I got this footage. It's a close-up of this queen, and you can really see the power of the queen. She's just like pumping out offspring, and they all, you know, are loyal to the queen. Kind of unifies them all, giving them a little bit more of a focus. Although they might clump together on their own, but yeah, the power of the queen is pretty cool. Alright, so then what? So you got one species that seems to have taken over the Pocket universe, and it has no rivals, and they're just going to keep breeding for eternity. So I thought that's not very exciting, and I added the Wandering Horde. So what happens is creatures who have evolved in another Pocket universe, you know, they've gotten to the same point, and now they pop through, and they come pay a visit to this particular dimension, and that's what we're about to see. So check out the power of the Wandering Horde. Now check it out. It's a cluster of eyeballs. There's not as many, so I think they're pretty screwed, but yeah, check this out, how they all, yep. They're not letting anything happen to their queen. Now, the colony doesn't always survive the horde. Sometimes the horde will come in and take over the entire, you know, their entire universe. But in this case, it looks pretty clear that these guys are not going to be able to get rid of this species. And those red ones, they're the name of that shape is the red drone. And look, you got a little bunny. See, they make mutations. That's how these random ones kind of pop up in the middle of nowhere. There's mutations in things that you really can't see, like turn speed and, you know, visual range and stuff like that. But sometimes, like that blue one there, he's not a red one, but he came from the red, you know, he's an offspring of the red ones. Sometimes they get along, other times all the other, you know, the offspring will kill them. But this one looks like he's getting on pretty well, so good for him. They all can hang out together. Alright, that's all the time I have for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, and maybe you have a better idea of what this creature's artificial life simulator is up to. I really didn't cover all the details. Every single thing we talked about has like 10 million other little details, but you know, I didn't want an hour-long video. So this will have to do for now, and keep an eye out for some more videos, and if you want to try this out, let me know. Alright, have a great day. Bye.